All right, so we're finally ready to get started with our next design, which is our profile page. So for our profile page, if I just pull up our wireframes that we put together, we see we want to have basically a simple background and then essentially have a picture of the user here with their first and last name, a little X to close the window here or close the menu or the profile, and a few buttons for them to go to different pages, from the account page to payment, order history, updating their address, and finally to log out from the app. So we want to go ahead and put together our profile pic, a little text box here, the little close icon here, and then the rest of the buttons here, we're going to place them. And I know in my wireframe here, we haven't put any icons on the left side here for these options. But what I do want to do is go ahead and actually add some icons to them as we're designing this page. So let's go back to XD and set that up here. So in our profile page, I already have it ready to go. So with our profile page selected, or the artboard itself, I'm going to go ahead and open up our libraries and then go ahead and select the accent 1 color for the background. And right now, little issue that we have is that our status bar is now the dark version, and so we really want the light version. Now, as a little tip here, of course, we can go back to our Apple files and pull that white version or the light version of that status bar, but there's an easy way to get around that, and that is to select our status bar here, and I'm just going to switch back to layers panel and make sure I have it selected, and then go ahead and just give it a white fill, because that will do the same thing here. Cool, so that looks much better. We want a little X close icon over here, so let's design that by creating 2 lines. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom into kind of this area here and just create 2 lines. I'm going to make them 35 pixels in width, and I'm going to go ahead and change the border color to, let's try 4 pixels, and do a rounded cap and a color that's white. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that by hitting Command D. For one of them, we're going to set a 45-degree angle, and for the other one, we're going to do a negative 45-degree angle. And so that will go ahead and create sort of this like X looking icon, I guess, for our close button. And I'm going to select both of them together, and maybe later we want to use this elsewhere. Let's go ahead and create a component out of this by hitting Command K. And then this is the main component, and I'm just going to go ahead and drag this one, since it's the main component, out here to my components. Just put it here for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and go back to our profile page, and from our libraries, let's go ahead and drag this one out here. We don't have a name for it. Let's go ahead and rename it close button, just so it's a little bit more organized in here. I'm going to place that roughly somewhere over here. We don't want it to be way too close to the top, and we don't want it to be too low either. So that's that. Now we need a little ellipse. So we're going to do E on our keyboard and drag a little ellipse here for our profile picture, and then we're going to hit the T key on our keyboard and create a little text box here, write first and last in here. For now, we're not gonna put any sample data. We'll come back later to do that, but for now I'm just creating the fields that we need. And I'm going to create this one, leave a spacing of 20 pixels. I think my profile icon is a little bit too big, so I'm going to go ahead and just shrink it down to 80 pixels in width and height. Go ahead and align that to the middle of that. There we go. And for my font here, I'm going to go ahead and select, let's go back to our typesets. Let's select the header 3. Header 3 looks good. And I'm going to change the fill to white. And now let's go ahead and create, let's see how many buttons do we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and create 5 buttons or instances of our buttons in here. And then we'll come back in the next lecture to complete this page. So let's select our button that we have here. So go ahead and find the button, carry it out here. We're going to go ahead and center that along our page. And I'm going to go ahead and actually bring these to match the same kind of pixels from the left side here. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate that a bunch of times and use shift and the down arrow keys to bring them down. So we need 5 buttons here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go ahead and just select all of them and bring them a little bit down. And I'm going to group them together so I can use stacks. So let's go ahead and enable stacks just so we can easily set the spacing between them. So I want to set a spacing of, I think 15 pixels looked good. And of course we want it to be vertical and not horizontal. Let's go ahead and do that and leave it as it is. I think that looks good for now. And then we're going to come back in the next lecture to assign these buttons and title and create a different version that has an icon as well.